June 5, 2013, the Guardian newspaper publishes a secret court order. 4 words appear on screens around the world on an ongoing daily basis. The order commands Verizon to hand over telephone records of millions of Americans to the National Security Agency. Every call, every day, no exceptions. 24 hours later, the Washington Post drops a bombshell. A classified PowerPoint presentation. 41 slides stamped top secret. The title, PRISM US 984XN. 9 company logos fill the screen. Microsoft, Yahoo, Google, Facebook, Apple, YouTube, Skype, AOL, Paltalk. The slide reads, collection directly from the servers of these US service providers. Your emails, your photos, your searches, your chats, your videos, everything you've ever uploaded to the cloud. The NSA has been collecting it all since 2007, and nobody knew. 3 days later, a 29-year-old contractor steps out of the shadows. His name is Edward Snowden. He's sitting in a Hong Kong hotel room knowing his life is over. I don't want to live in a world, he says, where everything I do and say is recorded. This is not science fiction. This is not conspiracy theory. This is verified fact, confirmed by declassified court documents, admitted by the government, proven by internal NSA slides that were never meant to see daylight. This is the story of how your privacy was stolen, how tech companies you trusted became government informants, how a secret court approved it all in the dark, and how 12 years later, the surveillance has only gotten worse. This is PRISM, and it's still watching you. March 12, 2013. Edward Snowden sits at his desk at the NSA's Regional Operations Center in Hawaii. He's watching a live feed from Washington. Director of National Intelligence James Clapper testifies before the Senate Intelligence Committee. Senator Ron Wyden asks a direct question: does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans? Clapper shifts in his seat. No, sir, Wyden presses. It does not? Not wittingly, Clapper responds. Snowden knows this is a lie. He's been watching the surveillance apparatus from the inside for years. First at the CIA, then at Dell, managing systems for the NSA. Now at Booz Allen Hamilton, one of the largest defense contractors in America. He knows what Clapper knows. The NSA is collecting everything. 3 days later, Snowden makes his decision. On March 15th, he applies for a new position at Booz Allen Hamilton. The job gives him access to even more classified documents. He accepts the role with one purpose: to gather evidence. For 2 months, Snowden copies files, thousands of them. PowerPoint presentations, court orders, internal newsletters, policy documents, legal memos. He encrypts everything. May 20th, 2013. Snowden boards a flight from Hawaii to Hong Kong. He's carrying a small collection of thumb drives. On them, proof of the largest surveillance program in human history. He's already been in contact with 2 journalists, Glenn Greenwald, a constitutional lawyer turned columnist, and Laura Poitras, a documentary filmmaker. He's been emailing them since January using encrypted channels. His codename, Verax, Latin for truth teller. Snowden chose Hong Kong deliberately. They have a spirited commitment to free speech and the right of political dissent, he explains later. He checks into the Mira Hotel in Kowloon, room 1014. For the next 2 weeks, Greenwald and Poitras interview him. They verify the documents, they confirm the authenticity. The evidence is overwhelming. June 5, 2013. The Guardian publishes its first story. The headline, NSA collecting phone records of millions of Verizon customers daily. The article reveals a secret foreign intelligence surveillance court order dated April 25th. Judge Roger Vinson of the FISA Court ordered Verizon Business Network Services to produce, on an ongoing daily basis, all call detail records for communications between the United States and abroad, and wholly within the United States. Not suspected terrorists, not criminals, everyone. Over 120 million Verizon subscribers. The order requires Verizon to hand over the numbers of both parties on every call, location data, call duration, unique identifiers, and the time of each call. The metadata reveals everything: who you call, when you call, how long you talk, where you are when you make the call. According to a 2015 investigation, Researchers analyzing only metadata correctly identified an individual's daily routine, travel habits, relationships, and even noticed when someone moved homes. But this is just the beginning. June 6, 2013. The Washington Post and The Guardian simultaneously published their second revelation. The headline, "NSA taps into internet giant systems to mine user data." A classified PowerPoint presentation lays it all out. PRISM. Program code, US 984XN, operational since 2007. The slide deck is stunning in its bluntness. One slide shows 9 tech company logos arranged in a grid, with dates next to each one. Microsoft, September 11, 2007. Yahoo, March 12, 2008. Google, January 14, 2009. Facebook, June 3, 2009. Paltalk, December 7, 2009. YouTube, September 24, 2010. Skype, February 6, 2011. AOL, March 31, 2011. Apple, October 2012. The dates represent when each company began participating in PRISM. Another slide claims analysts can access email, chat, video, voice, videos, photos, stored data, VoIP, file transfers, video conferencing, notifications of target activity, logins, etc. Online social networking details, special requests. The presentation boasts that PRISM is the NSA's leading source of raw material, accounting for nearly 1 in 7 intelligence reports. Within hours, every tech company denies everything. Apple. We have never heard of PRISM. Google. We do not have a backdoor for the government to access private user data. Facebook. We do not provide any government organization with direct access to Facebook servers. Microsoft, Yahoo, Apple, Google. They all issue similar statements: no direct access, no backdoors. They comply only with court orders for specific accounts. But the NSA slides tell a different story. One slide explicitly states the program involves collection directly from the servers of the companies. Who's lying, the government or Silicon Valley? To understand PRISM, you have to understand what changed after September 11, 2001. Before 9/11, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act of 1978 strictly regulated government surveillance. If the NSA wanted to spy on someone in America, they needed a warrant from the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. The bar was high. Probable cause that the target was a foreign power or agent of a foreign power. After 9/11, everything changed. In October 2001, Congress passed the Patriot Act. The Bush administration argued the NSA needed broader powers to prevent another terrorist attack. In 2007, the Protect America Act expanded the NSA's authority. For the first time, the agency could conduct warrantless surveillance on communications where one end was outside the United States. Then came the FISA Amendments Act of 2008. Section 702 became the legal foundation for PRISM. Under Section 702, the NSA doesn't need individual warrants. Instead, the FISA Court approves annual certifications for broad categories of foreign intelligence targets. The targets must be non-U.S. persons reasonably believed to be outside the United States, that's it. No probable cause needed, no specific criminal activity required, just foreign intelligence information. But here's the catch. When the NSA targets a foreigner, it inevitably collects communications involving Americans. If a U.S. citizen emails, calls, or chats with someone abroad who's been targeted, the NSA vacuums up both sides of the conversation. This is called incidental collection, except there's nothing incidental about it when you're collecting hundreds of millions of communications. PRISM operates through what the NSA calls corporate partnerships. Tech companies receive directives from the Attorney General and Director of National Intelligence. Under Section 702, companies must comply. Refusal means facing the FISA Court. The court can impose massive fines, up to $250,000 per day for non-compliance. Yahoo tried to fight. In 2007, before PRISM officially launched, Yahoo challenged the constitutionality of the surveillance program in the FISA Court. The company lost. In 2008, the FISA Court of Review upheld the ruling. Yahoo was ordered to comply or face financial destruction. So how does PRISM actually work? According to leaked NSA documents, the agency doesn't have complete direct access to company servers. Instead, tech companies provide a portal. When the NSA submits a selector, an email address, username, or phone number, the company systems retrieve matching communications and deliver them through secure channels. The tech companies built special interfaces, Dropboxes, secure portals, systems designed to automatically fulfill NSA requests. Microsoft called its system Special Source Operations. Internal documents show Microsoft was the first partner, beginning cooperation in December 2007. The NSA can request anything: emails, chats, photos, videos, voice calls, file transfers, even metadata about user activity, logins, IP addresses, location data. A declassified NSA newsletter from December 2012 reveals another critical detail. After the FISA Court ruled in 2011 that some NSA activities were unconstitutional, tech companies had to implement new compliance measures. Each extension of the FISA certifications required system updates. Who paid for these updates? The NSA. According to the newsletter, the modifications cost millions of dollars. Costs covered by special source operations. The NSA paid Google, Apple, Microsoft, Yahoo, and Facebook millions of dollars to maintain the surveillance infrastructure. Let that sink in. Your private communications are being monitored by the government using systems that the government paid tech companies to build. But PRISM is just one tool. The leaked documents reveal a constellation of surveillance programs. The NSA taps directly into fiber optic cables that carry internet traffic. Working with telecommunications companies like AT&T and Verizon, the agency intercepts data as it flows across the internet backbone. This collection happens at physical locations called data collection sites. Described by NSA documents as the agency's widest-reaching system, Xkeyscore searches through everything collected by other programs: emails, browsing history, online chats, social media activity. An NSA analyst can search the database using email addresses, names, IP addresses, or other selectors. No warrant required, no approval necessary, just search. The leaked training materials claim Xkeyscore gives analysts the ability to see nearly everything a user does on the internet. A joint NSA-British GCHQ operation that secretly broke into the internal communications links of Google and Yahoo. Not the front-facing servers that users access, the private fiber optic cables connecting Google and Yahoo's data centers. By tapping these internal networks, the NSA collected hundreds of millions of user accounts information. The surveillance infrastructure is massive. According to NSA budget documents leaked by Snowden, the agency's black budget for 2013 was $10.8 billion. The entire intelligence community spent $52.6 billion. The NSA employs over 35,000 people. It operates listening posts around the world. The agency built a data center in Bluffdale, Utah, spanning 1.5 million square feet. Cost, $1.5 billion. The facility can store yottabytes of data. That's 1 septillion bytes. Everything you've ever done online could be stored there, forever. All of this operates in near total secrecy. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court meets behind closed doors. Only government lawyers present arguments. No opposing counsel, no public advocates. From 1979 to 2012, the FISA Court approved 30,942 surveillance applications. It rejected 11. That's an approval rate of 99.97%. The court is a rubber stamp. June 9, 2013. Edward Snowden reveals himself to the world. He appears in a video interview filmed in his Hong Kong hotel room. The Guardian publishes the footage. "I don't want to live in a world where everything I do and say is recorded," Snowden explains. "My sole motive is to inform the public as to that which is done in their name and that which is done against them." Within hours, the US government responds. White House spokesman Jay Carney: "The President welcomes a discussion of the trade-offs between security and civil liberties." FBI Director Robert Mueller: "Snowden's leaks caused significant harm to our nation and to our safety." NSA Director Keith Alexander defends PRISM before Congress. He claims the programs helped prevent more than 50 potential terrorist attacks since 2001. Congress asks for examples. Alexander provides one, a plot to bomb the New York Stock Exchange. Court records later show the plot wasn't actually foiled by PRISM. President Obama himself addresses the nation. You can't have 100% security and also then have 100% privacy and zero inconvenience, he says. We're going to have to make some choices as a society. But what choices did Americans actually make? Most people never knew PRISM existed. June 11, 2013. Booz Allen Hamilton fires Snowden in a statement. News reports that this individual has claimed to have leaked classified information are shocking. June 21, 2013. Federal prosecutors unseal criminal charges filed in U.S. District Court in Virginia. Snowden is charged with theft of government property and 2 counts of violating the Espionage Act of 1917. Maximum sentence, 30 years in prison, June 23, 2013. Snowden boards a flight from Hong Kong to Moscow. The U.S. government revokes his passport mid-flight. He lands in Moscow's Sheremetyevo airport and enters the transit zone. Legally, he's nowhere. Not in Russia, not in international territory, trapped. For 39 days, Snowden lives in the airport. His lawyer brings him food, he sleeps on benches, he applies for asylum in 21 countries. All reject him or remain silent under U.S. pressure. August 1, 2013. Russia grants Snowden temporary asylum. He disappears into Moscow. Meanwhile, the revelations keep coming. Throughout 2013, journalists publish story after story based on Snowden's documents. July 2013, The Guardian reveals the NSA collected nearly 3 billion pieces of intelligence from US computer networks in just 30 days. October 2013. Documents show the NSA monitored phone calls of 35 world leaders, including German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Germany's Der Spiegel reveals the NSA bugged the European Union's offices in Washington and Brussels. The international backlash is swift. Brazil's President Dilma Rousseff cancels a state visit to Washington. She denounces the surveillance before the United Nations General Assembly. Meddling in such a manner in the affairs of other countries is a breach of international law. France, Germany, Mexico, Spain, Sweden, nearly every allied nation demands answers. How much were they spied on? How deep does this go? In August 2013, the Obama administration begins declassifying documents in response to pressure. The government releases heavily redacted FISA Court opinions. One opinion from October 2011 drops a bombshell. FISA Court Judge John Bates ruled that the NSA had violated the Fourth Amendment. For years, from 2008 to 2011, the NSA illegally collected up to 56,000 emails and other communications between Americans with no foreign connection whatsoever. Judge Bates wrote, "The volume and nature of the information it has been collecting is fundamentally different from what the court had been led to believe." Translation: the NSA lied to the FISA Court. This was the third time in 3 years the NSA had been caught misleading the court about the scope of its surveillance. Judge Bates noted the NSA had been acquiring internet transactions since before the court's approval in 2008. The NSA was collecting data illegally before it even had permission. The court ordered the NSA to fix the violations. The agency complied by creating new filtering technology and updated its procedures. But the damage was done. For at least 3 years, tens of thousands of purely domestic communications were swept up and stored in NSA databases. December 16, 2013, U.S. District Judge Richard Leon rules on a lawsuit challenging the phone metadata collection program. His opinion, "I cannot imagine a more indiscriminate and arbitrary invasion than this systematic and high-tech collection and retention of personal data on virtually every single citizen." Judge Leon declares the program almost certainly violates the Fourth Amendment. He issues an injunction to halt the collection. The government immediately appeals. The injunction is stayed. The surveillance continues. January 17, 2014. President Obama announces reforms. The NSA will no longer hold the bulk phone metadata. The data will stay with telephone companies. The NSA will need FISA Court approval before querying the database. Obama promises increased transparency and new privacy safeguards. The changes are cosmetic. Section 702 remains untouched. PRISM continues operating. The NSA still collects emails, chats, photos, and videos from tech company servers. In May 2015, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals rules the NSA's bulk collection of phone records is illegal. The court finds the program exceeds what Congress authorized under Section 215 of the Patriot Act. June 2015. Congress passes the USA Freedom Act. The law ends the NSA's bulk collection of phone metadata, sort of. Instead of the NSA storing the data, phone companies keep it. The NSA can still access it with FISA Court approval, call it surveillance by proxy. But Section 702, the legal authority for PRISM, gets renewed. It passes with bipartisan support. The surveillance continues. Flash forward to 2024. 11 years after Snowden's revelations. Has anything changed? Section 702 comes up for reauthorization in April 2024. Privacy advocates see an opportunity. Democrats and Republicans unite behind a simple demand: require a warrant before the FBI searches Section 702 databases for Americans' communications. The amendment comes to a vote in the House of Representatives, April 12, 2024. The vote is 212 to 212, a perfect tie. The warrant requirement fails. 1 week later, the Senate votes, April 19, 2024. The warrant amendment receives 42 votes. It needs 60. It fails. But that's not the worst part. Congress doesn't just reauthorize Section 702, they expand it. The Reforming Intelligence and Securing America Act, RISAA, passes both chambers. Senator Ron Wyden calls it one of the most dramatic and terrifying expansions of government surveillance authority in history. Here's what RISAA does. It dramatically expands the definition of electronic communications service provider. Previously, only telecommunications companies and internet service providers could be compelled to assist with surveillance. Under RISAA, the government can now force almost anyone with access to communications infrastructure to help the NSA. Data centers, cloud storage facilities, commercial landlords who provide Wi-Fi, hotels, coffee shops, restaurants, even repair shops that service routers and servers. Elizabeth Goitain from the Brennan Center for Justice explains, the government could compel a landlord to give the NSA access to communications equipment in an office building. They could force a hotel to help spy on guests. Any business with a router or server could be turned into an NSA listening post. The only exceptions: residences, libraries, and community facilities. Everything else is fair game. RISAA also eliminates oversight mechanisms. The law weakens the FISA Court's ability to appoint independent experts to review novel surveillance requests. It requires suspicionless searches of Section 702 data for anyone seeking to enter the US, including long-time visa holders returning from travel. President Biden signs RISAA into law at 12:15 a.m. on April 20, 2024. 15 minutes after the previous authorization expired, the surveillance not only continues, it metastasizes. How bad is the abuse? The government's own reports tell the story. In 2021, the FBI conducted up to 3.4 million warrantless searches of Section 702 databases for Americans' communications. That's more than 9,300 searches per day. The FBI searched for a member of Congress. They searched for political campaign donors. They searched for journalists and their sources. They searched for Black Lives Matter protesters. They searched for participants in the January 6th Capitol riot. One FBI agent searched Section 702 databases during a personal family dispute. An NSA analyst searched for people they met on a dating app. In 2022 alone, the FBI performed over 200,000 warrantless searches of Americans' communications. Each search violates what the Fourth Amendment was designed to prevent: unreasonable searches without a warrant based on probable cause. Senator Dick Durbin. Even after implementing compliance measures, the FBI still conducted more than 200,000 warrantless searches in just 1 year, more than 500 warrantless searches per day. A 2023 FISA Court opinion reveals the FBI searched Section 702 data for 19,000 donors to a congressional campaign. Why? The FBI wanted to vet them for a meeting with a member of Congress. No terrorism angle, no foreign intelligence purpose, just routine domestic vetting. The FBI ran queries on 133 people in connection with the racial justice protests following George Floyd's murder. The justification? They might be targets of foreign intelligence. January 2025. A federal district court rules that these backdoor searches of Section 702 data ordinarily require a warrant. The ruling is a landmark, but it's not clear if the government will comply. The intelligence agencies are already appealing. May 2025. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence releases a new transparency report. It reveals Section 702 is now being used for counter-narcotics operations, not just terrorism, not just foreign intelligence, the drug war. The expansion is clear. What began as a program to stop terrorists has become a dragnet for domestic law enforcement. The foreign intelligence justification is a legal fiction, and it's not just the government. Tech companies have become willing partners in the surveillance state. After Snowden, several companies sued for the right to be more transparent about government requests. Google, Microsoft, Yahoo. They wanted to publish how many Section 702 demands they receive. The government fought them in court. Eventually, the companies won limited transparency. Now they publish reports. The numbers are staggering. In 2023, Google received between 0 and 499 FISA content requests, affecting between 500 and 999 user accounts. That's the most specific Google is allowed to be. The government prohibits exact numbers. Microsoft received similar numbers. So did Apple, Facebook, all the tech giants. Hundreds of thousands of user accounts targeted each year. Here's the twisted part. Under FISA law, companies can't tell users their data was accessed. No notification, no warning. You'll never know if the government read your emails or watched your videos. The tech companies built the infrastructure. They maintain it. They profit from it. Your data is their product, and when the government comes calling with a Section 702 directive, they hand it over. Some companies pushed back harder than others. Yahoo fought and lost in the FISA Court. Apple resisted a 2016 FBI demand to unlock the San Bernardino shooter's iPhone, but that was a different legal authority. When it comes to Section 702, compliance is nearly universal. The alternative is corporate suicide. $250,000 per day in fines adds up quickly. Edward Snowden remains in exile in Russia. In 2022, he became a Russian citizen. He's never been able to return to the United States. The charges against him still stand. If he comes back, he faces decades in prison. Some call him a traitor, others call him a hero. The debate continues. But here are the facts. Everything Snowden revealed was true. Every document was authentic. Every claim was verified. The US government was conducting mass surveillance on American citizens without warrants. Tech companies were cooperating. The FISA Court was rubber stamping it all, and nobody was allowed to know. In 2014, the Pulitzer Prize Board awarded The Guardian and The Washington Post the Pulitzer Prize for Public Service for their reporting on Snowden's documents. The citation, for their revelation of widespread secret surveillance by the National Security Agency, helping through aggressive reporting to spark a debate about the relationship between the government and the public over issues of security and privacy. That debate is still happening. Or it should be, because the surveillance hasn't stopped. It's expanded. Section 702 comes up for reauthorization again in April 2026. Will Congress finally require warrants? Will they close the backdoor search loophole? Will they protect the Fourth Amendment? Based on what happened in 2024, don't count on it. The surveillance state is bipartisan. Democrats and Republicans both support it. The intelligence community insists it's necessary for national security. Tech companies comply because they have to. And the American people? Most don't know, or don't care, or feel powerless to stop it. Your emails are monitored. Your photos are stored in government databases. Your messages can be searched without a warrant. Your location is tracked. Your communications with anyone abroad are fair game. This is not a warning about what could happen. This is what is happening. Right now, today. 12 years after Edward Snowden exposed PRISM, the program has evolved. The technology is better. The databases are bigger, The reach is wider. George Orwell wrote in 1984, "Big Brother is watching you." It was meant as a warning. Instead, it became a blueprint. The NSA doesn't need telescreens. You carry one in your pocket. You voluntarily upload your life to the cloud, and the government collects it all. The machinery of surveillance is vast, invisible, relentless. It operates in the shadows, approved by secret courts, justified by classified legal opinions, executed by agencies that refuse to be held accountable, and it shows no signs of slowing down, only expanding, metastasizing, becoming more pervasive with each passing year. In 2013, Edward Snowden asked a question: what kind of world do we want to live in? We're still answering that question, or rather the answer is being decided for us. While we scroll, while we post, while we chat, while we search, the surveillance state isn't coming, it's here. PRISM is not history, it's the present, and unless something changes, it's the future too.